Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of With All Due Respect. We are your hosts. I'm Ryan Shead. That's Marcus Flowers. Brother, how are you doing?
Brother, status unclear right now. I'm just hanging in there like everybody else.
I feel that.
Luckily, we dodged Snowmageddon and Ice-mageddon here in my neighborhood.
That's good.
My neck of Georgia, but
yeah, I had a friend back home. He works at the airport. He's the one that got me the job in Vegas, and he sent me a text. He's like, "It's -15. The diesel fuel is turning to slush, and we can't keep the trucks running." And I was like, "Hey, better you than me." And he said, "Hey, I'm not the line guy anymore. I'm in charge." He's like, "I'm up here drinking coffee." So hopefully none of his guys are watching this.
Oh yeah,
but
hey, yeah. For those of you that got the weather, we're sorry.
Especially people that lost their power, their heat, and all that. That's
exactly. Yeah. I think we're digging out of it right now. Prayers for
hopefully
everybody.
That's the only crazy storm we get. Yeah,
I'm hoping this is the last one this year. So.
Yeah, because there has been a few big dumps over there, hasn't there?
Yeah.
Here in the desert, we don't get all that.
Yeah, I mean,
thank God.
For us here, it's the ice.
Yeah.
People talk about Southerners not being able to drive in snow and this, that, and the other.
That is
not really what we're dealing with, guys. We're dealing with the ice on the road. You can't. I don't care what.
Moody Air Force Base. If there was ice, they shut it down because they knew that there would be chaos going to base. Yeah,
my town was shut down too for a day. We were prepared for it, but it didn't come, or we didn't get it that bad. So, we dodged a bullet.
Get up and go to work. But speaking of military bases, we have yet another veteran coming on the show today, and he's running for office again in your great state of Georgia. Again, I've been excited for that. I get to meet all these cool people that I don't think I would have gotten to talk to because of you. So thanks for doing the show with me so I can meet all these great people. So before I bring him on, I just want to tell everybody, some of you may know him as Quentin Pullen. Some of you may know him as Coach Q, which I particularly like. I don't have a cool coach name. But he is running for office in Georgia, and he's a veteran like us. He's been around the block a few times. He came from California, but he was raised in Atlanta, Georgia. So he came back home to run for office and try to help bring things back. And that's what this show is about. It's about bringing the Democratic Party to where it needs to be to accomplish the goals that we have right now, which is stopping some of the craziness within our government and get it back to representing the people. So, sir, thank you so much for joining us.
Man, I appreciate being here. And listen, I put on my cowboy hat today for Marcus, man, and he's not even wearing it.
I know he's going to go get it. He'll go get it. No, he'll go get it. Trust me.
It doesn't take much.
There you go.
Hey, I have to tip mine back because if my wife sees me on here with a cowboy hat and
see now, brother, good-looking brothers like you get away with it. I cannot pull off the cowboy hat. So you two enjoy.
Much to find one, man.
I'm going to keep my Lions gear on over here.
But no, that explains the black man in mourning right there because you guys are on vacation.
That's it, man.
Did you really have to?
We'll get them next year.
Did you really have to?
Just a little bit of a dig,
So you're the type of guy that sticks the knife in the back and twists it. Good to know.
No, I just prick you a little bit, and just let you know I haven't.
No, hey man, the Lions may be sitting at home, but it still wasn't a terrible season. We aren't 0-16 or 1-15, so I'll take it. We're still headed in a good direction. Hey, losing those coaches, though, that hurt us. I knew it was going to. Those were two good coaches, and clearly you see what the dude was able to do in Chicago. So it's not a surprise that we were struggling to find our grip without him.
Hey, look, we're feeling a little bit of that in Atlanta, too. There's a little shakeup in our neck of the woods.
Yeah.
So,
listen, I divorced myself from being a football fan. I still love sports, man. I look, I'm a coach, so I love sports. But I don't have any kind of loyalty to any single team, and it's so much more. I appreciate the game better now.
And I don't get upset about the game instead of exactly. That makes sense to me.
I think Seattle's going to win a Super Bowl, so I'm rooting for them, but I don't care who wins. I just want to see.
Yep,
that's how I feel about pro football more than college football. College football, it's a different story.
That's like a loyalty thing. But NFL, I feel you because it's like how many of us get to the Super Bowl? We all watch it because we want to watch the game or watch the commercials, but you may not. Your team's probably not there. it doesn't mean we don't enjoy the game. You still appreciate the game.
Absolutely.
So it's like, that actually makes sense, that it's more enjoyable because you can just turn on TV and be like, I'll watch any game. Me, it's like, if it's not the Lions playing, especially regular season, I'm good.
Yeah. And check it.
Yeah.
I don't have to burn a jersey,
I just put it in the back of the closet. I don't burn it.
They spend all this money on jerseys, right?
What, $140
expensive,
for a
and then
jersey
they
now?
burn it, and then they go, "Oh my God, now I got to go buy this thing again," And so, no, I don't want that emotional connection. So,
speaking of that, Jahmyr Gibbs, if you change numbers one more time, dude, I'm not buying your jersey a third time. All right, but let's get into the important stuff, which is why you are running for office, particularly in your district.
Well,
no, go ahead.
Tell us a little bit about you, Coach Q.
Yeah,
we want the people
absolutely.
to know
So I wanted to start this, man, by the first time that that Marcus came on my radar. He was running for congressman, and I sent him a message. I had just moved back from California to Georgia, and I sent a message to him on Instagram saying, "Hey man, if you would like help on your campaign." He says, "I never saw it," and so I was like, "Oh man." And so when we finally got a chance to meet in person, it was here at Fayetteville at a veterans town hall. And so I got up in front of the room and did my thing with my command voice, and he's like, "Dude, where the hell did you come from?" And I said, "I've been trying to get a hold of you since it's been about a year since then." And so we've been off and on having conversations, and we finally had a chance to break bread, man, and we talked about this campaign thing. And I'll say this, and let me take this. Your eyes speak a lot.
The Michael Jordan
they do, and I'm very animated in my conversation. And I will say
good,
this:
man.
there are a lot of veterans running for office now, and the reason is because we took that oath. All right.
Yeah,
we took that oath that says, that's, and I still to this day feel this in my heart. And so watching
have an
what's
expiration
going on, it does not, man. And if you're a veteran, I can't understand how I see veterans supporting. I don't get it. I'm like, here's a person that has never served anyone, and you're giving him your loyalty. And so
when he would step over you, literally.
Now I'm going to switch back.
Right. I mean, do you learn anything about him taking money from veterans, right? Wounded warriors.
Yeah.
They were doing it
shamelessly,
dirty, man. And so, yes. Yeah. So
you're touching on
I got motivated to actually. I never saw myself in this position running for office, but in 2016, I was like, man, I got to do something. So I was in California, and the next election cycle was 2020. I ran for mayor in my city because I said, we need people in our government who are reliable, responsible, who take this seriously, who understand the impact to the people that we serve, because service is what this job is all about. And so I ran for mayor in 2020. 2021 happened, and then I was like, I'm going to, things happen with us in California and COVID. Why don't we move to Georgia if we have to start our business all over again? I was like, I'm from Georgia.
Perfect
Don't
time.
have to tell me twice. Perfect timing. We came back here, and I tell people we came back here with a plan. On my property right now, I have a military obstacle course, and people are like,
"Oh, that's cool.
Why?" Well, so we have what we call the fitness ranch. The fitness ranch. I'm a physical therapist and the strength and conditioning coach. So I help pain get stronger, more mobile, and change their life. So I help people realize their best selves on a daily basis. Military obstacle course is something I had in California. I duplicated it here. We built this fitness ranch because we wanted to help influence the next generation military so that we have better service members, people that are leaders getting ready to go. I was grateful for the fact that I had the delayed entry program. I competed with the recruiters on a monthly basis to beat them at a PFT. I was in the ROTC program. So I had that mentorship at an early age. I joined in the 11th grade. So I knew that this was a serious deal for me. So when I moved here, I said, I want to help kids who are not as physically fit, issues, pass the ASVAB and then pass a physical fitness test so that they can get into the military. And so that's what we built here, and that's what we have. And so what we've been doing in our community is that service work of helping kids with a pathway into the military.
Find that
so
path.
Yes, and so running for office for me, man, is just another form of service. Turned out with going to city council, county commission, and then going to state government and seeing people not really representing us. They get comfortable in these positions and they make an excuse for what they can't do. I'm like, listen, man, we have the unique training to work across the aisle because the people that we were in platoons with in our squads were different from us. They came from different places in the United States. So you guys remember getting off the bus and the drill instructor saying, hey, the only color we see is green, right? So racism wasn't a part of boot camp, and you learn how to depend on your shipmate, your other Marines, your Army, whatever it might be. You learn how to depend on those people because, and so our government is supposed to represent the people. So there is no red, blue. And I'm sorry, man, if I get into the military mode and some, 4-letter words come out, but red and blue.
Yeah, we all speak.
We'll be all right.
We all speak French here.
we speak that language.
Yeah,
right?
I said a few choice words.
Right, red and blue is the Crips and the Bloods, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Crips
It
and the Bloods.
exactly
So
feels that way
we
too.
got the Crips and the Bloods fighting in our government over what? Over basic human needs.
I'd argue fighting in the street.
That too. I mean, what's next? So this is, I believe that this time right now is perfect for me to run for this because our communities, our country, coach them to make them realize their best self and get our country back together, get our communities back together. And so that's what I see as my calling right now. There's no candidate like me on this ticket that's running for this primary that has that kind of experience with people. And so I'm excited about it. But I'm not taking anything for granted. I'm doing the work. I'm out at community meetings. I'm talking to people. And this is what I did from day one when I hit the ground. For me, it hasn't been, let me go and join the Democratic Party or all these nations because I need to build a resume. My resume speaks from basically childhood,
Yeah. That's the thing too. Public service is public service. And when you join the military, I always felt it's a public service. Like, we're being paid and all that. We volunteer and all that. But, like you said, when we signed on that dotted line, I don't sign to just represent Democrats when I signed up. I signed up to represent the United States and everybody that lives in it. And that's what I thought. And I was kind of different. I was 21 when I went in. So I was like really looking for direction because I felt lost. So for me, I needed that structure. And man, when they shaved my head and gave me those BCGs and, I realized what was happening, it was like, but I loved what you said because boot camp is about building a team. It's also about breaking everybody down to ground level and then teaching you why it's important for you to be able to set those differences aside so that you can get the job done. Now in boot camp, it was something stupid like cutting the strings off your BDUs or whatever to make sure they look perfect, folding everything perfect squares. And if it wasn't, that's what it was in boot camp. But for me, then it turned into now you're working on an F-18. Now you need to know your job. And I remember back to cutting all those strings and all those things having to be folded perfectly. And it's like, now I'm doing a job where everything has to be done perfectly. Everything has to be put in its place.
Or
the plane crashes.
Yeah. Exactly.
And boot camp is just a bigger picture. Right? If you all don't work together, we're not getting where we need to go.
Yeah. And to Coach Q, I love that, you know, you bring it back to service and being in the military, and you talk about, and these are things that I've said as well. You know, I wish more of our, you know, representatives and senators and people in the administration that served in the military in some form or another, because they understand that service. They would have understood that oath from a very early age. They take the same oath practically that we took to support and defend the Constitution. Exactly. And
absolutely,
you understand then it's not about you anymore. You know, it's not about what you want. It's what's best for the country.
It's a much bigger picture.
Best for the law, the Constitution. So I love seeing that, you know, and I'm a big proponent of supporting candidates who are veterans. You know, there's other organizations that do it as well, like Vote Vets, but you know, my organization, Hold the Line, you know, you don't have to be a veteran, but it helps. But it helps.
So, it's a different discipline.
And it's all about understanding what service really looks like, being able to look at people that you know are different from you, that you know believe differently from you, but being able to work with them. You know, I think if we had more of that in Congress, I think we'd get more done now.
Amen. And I want to just add
that's not the only reason. But
I want to add real quick too, just to piggyback off that, understanding how the federal government and the federal budget works is a big part of the military as well, or federal contracting.
Yes.
So, you know, that's a big part of it too. Knowing how, you know, how the money is allocated, where it goes, how it's spent, that's a big part of it. And one of the only ways you really can do that is to live it. Yeah. So, you know, again, it's just that experience that I think veterans, that special experience that veterans bring to the table, you know, that they've had to assess that just, you know, the normal average day American usually doesn't.
Yeah, a lot of veterans, whether they know it or not, understand the colors of money, understand what those budgets are all about.
Exactly.
You know,
and it's not to say that they're not civilian types that are hard chargers, man, because I've met some of them.
No,
not saying that at all.
But I say that we are a different breed. Now, here's, and we've seen all these people our time in the fleet. Dude, I'm going to be 56 years old in March, and I was telling Marcus this. That obstacle course that's on my property, I run that thing. Every year for my birthday in March, I run the Marine Corps PFT.
How old did you say you are?
I'll be 56 in March.
Man, I quit. I quit.
Hey, look,
nobody said that being white, that I would age like Winston Churchill on a cold freaking Saturday. Like, you're almost 60?
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, man. I was so dang happy when I went online and saw that the Marine Corps had changed the standard for the PFT. I was like,
he's like, I can go serve another few years.
Right. And so I took both PFTs. I took the one with the rower and the CrossFit version that they do now. First class all the way at that, and first class at the old PFT, the pull-ups, the sit-ups, the push-ups, the 3-mile run. So I do this because I said, look, I hold myself to a high standard, period, of living.
Physical and mental. Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, I take care of my mind, man. The reason why I'm so involved in community service is because of the feeling that you get, the responsibility that I take to my community. I mean, I am a homeowner in this community, and the taxes that I pay, the roads that I drive on, the business that I have in this community requires for our community to be doing well. And if they're not doing well, then
I'm not doing well.
It's collectively all of our fault, right? Yep. So, you know, you're only as strong as the weakest link, right? Yep. So I feel like at this point in time, and I don't plan on being in office for a long time. I'm a self limiting person when it comes to, hey man, I don't want to be here 10 years from now in this state representative seat. I want to get in, do a job, help our country. And then in our leadership books, when we got in boot camp, one of the traits of leadership is who you bring up behind you. I was
just going to ask you
that. And so there are a lot of people who run for office now, and they are threatened by who's coming up behind that and mentor you. They want to keep things to themselves. And so those people got to go. You know, they got to go because There's no reason
Gatekeepers.
and yes, gatekeepers, but bro, 86 years old. I'm 84 years old. See, is we have I think 30 something congressmen that are over 82 or 84 years old.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
out of that, 13 are running for re-election.
Yeah,
Get
it's
out,
crazy.
right? I mean,
But it's
80
like the
something
war
is a
chest you
silent
talked about in the
generation.
beginning. You know, like if once you have that
Yeah,
war
you know,
chest, you
you
become a
know,
lot harder to beat, especially people like, you know, you and Marcus who, you know, you start from the ground up. You know,
yes,
you've
yes,
built you're currently building your network. Marcus is still building it, but he's been building it for 5 years. You know, so
absolutely.
this isn't like anybody is handing you guys, you know,
Nothing.
$500,000, $1 million and saying, here, go
Yeah,
have fun, you
go
know,
fight.
which
Yeah, yeah.
is kind of what happens on the other side. You know, money gets
It
funneled to them
does.
in different ways,
Yeah.
but
It does. But
it's just different.
there's been exposing of that right now. And I was reading an article from the New York Times, and it's that more people are leaving both parties on
Yes.
independent, right? The problem with independence is, and I was in California, I ran as no political preference because I didn't like the party system. I still to this day don't like it, but um, my values right now line up more with this doing than the Republican Party. I don't
Easily.
like the fact that they are allowing this guy to rip apart our country. I don't
I can
We were
co-sign that.
always taught in boot camp and throughout our time in the military that Russia's not our friend, you know?
Yeah.
And so to align yourself with the worst of the worst and to um not be working for the people, understand how the Republican Party can swallow that, you know? And I have friends who are Republicans, who have been Republicans. And I said, I did a phone call the other day trying to raise funds. And one of my friends in California, he says, "Oh, I'll donate to your campaign." He goes, "But you understand that I'm a registered Republican." I says, "How long have we been friends?" 20 years. I said, "So does your political party come before our friendship? Because if that's
Bam.
so, then it's the last time we'll talk. You know, if it does not, then you and I, you understand what I'm trying to do and what my character is. And so
Yeah.
you'll help me along the way." And so he says, "Yeah, I'll send you some money." And now, have I seen that money yet? But I'm gonna have to do a couple of calls.
Here's the thing, though,
You know,
Coach. Here's the thing.
Gotta send a collector.
This Republican
Mhm.
Party today is not the same Republican Party that
Colin Powell.
I feel like we bring that
20
up
years
almost every
ago
show.
when we were
Yeah.
coming up, when we were young
Yes,
soldiers.
yes,
Yep.
yes,
Because
yes.
you know, I remember, you know, a lot of the brass, you know,
Mhm.
officers, upper, you know, not necessarily flag officers, but you know, field grade officers. Well, those guys, I knew that they were Republicans, even though we didn't talk about that stuff. But
Right,
you know,
right.
I knew they were Republicans. But
You go see what they're
back
driving. It
in
was like,
now you got to
Yeah.
point. A lot of those guys were Republicans.
not everybody, but
Yeah, yeah.
Back then, and I'm talking 90s, you know, early 2000s,
Mhm.
mid 90s to late 90s, early 2000s, we didn't really look at that the same way because it hadn't gotten to where it is now. Right
where
now,
we even had to have that conversation.
the majority of the Republican Party, and I feel like there's a lot of people in the party that feel like they've been left.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I agree
what you
with
have
Mhm.
that's replaced that is a cult of personality.
Yep.
And let's
Yes.
face it, Trump's only there for his billionaire buddies. I guarantee you,
Tell
he's
him
not
again,
doing
brother.
anything for the people of Fayetteville and Fayette County. And yes, I used to
No,
live in
no.
Fayette County. I know people are going to be like, Marcus,
Mm.
you've lived everywhere. You lived in Oklahoma. You guys, I
Well,
lived
that's
all over the
military.
world.
We
Yeah,
travel,
that's
right?
Texas,
We're stamped.
And
Georgia,
contracting.
Oklahoma, you know, you name it. And I've lived all over the world. So,
Mhm.
but where Q is running, Coach Q's running right now, I used to live in that town. As a matter of fact, that was the first place I moved back to when I came back from spending 20 years overseas. I moved to Fayetteville. That was where I lived. Now then,
Mhm.
I left and went out to Texas and Oklahoma, but still came back to Georgia. You know, just like you did, Q. You went out in the world, you came back in. You know, we
Yeah.
ended up pretty much where we started. So, and
Yeah,
that's,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I also appreciate that as well because you bring all of that experience that you've gained
100%.
out the world
100%.
back with you
Yep.
for this
Yeah.
position that you're running for now. So,
Yes.
Yep.
And if
So-
anybody listen, every state in the union has Democrats and Republicans, right?
yeah.
Every
Yes.
state in the union has black and white and Hispanic and Native American and all the things, right? Every state in the union has that. So when you move somewhere, it ain't that much different. You just have to be able to assimilate in the culture. And when things like Airbnb and VRBO came around, my wife's European. So we go on vacation with her family every 2 to 3 years somewhere in Europe. And we would rent a house in these communities. And when you rent a house in a community and you are trying to assimilate to their culture, they show you things. We were in Dubrovnik. In Dubrovnik, we were In Dubrovnik, we were at the port, and there was a restaurant that was about half a mile walking distance, and we would go there. And they were fishermen, so they would ask us when we would go there. They would specially prepare things for us that were culturally appropriate in Dubrovnik. And so it was a completely different experience living in this community than staying at a hotel.
Yep.
Exactly. And so when I go places, I want to know. We went to Italy. It was the same type of thing. I don't speak a lick of Italian, but my father-in-law spoke a little bit. And so we gave us fresh kill and, told us what to go and see. And so I liked doing that. And so it's that way in America for me. When I came to Fed, we went out and started seeing stuff. I started introducing myself to people. And I think some places that you go, people are not as comfortable with people just walking up and saying hi. I was looking forward to Southern hospitality when I moved back home. And I was like, what happened to that? Because I go places and I say hi to everybody. But here in certain areas and certain groups of people, they look at you like, why are you talking to me? And so I'm talking to you because we're neighbors. I put a post on Facebook in our community page that I'm running to represent everyone, not just one particular group of people, because as a representative for this district, I am privileged to run. And so I'm doing something different. All right. I'm doing something different than having a town hall where I start preaching to people. I'm not a minister. I'm a local, just like everyone else is. And so my town halls look like this. I got 10 questions. It's a reverse town hall. So I go and I ask the people in that audience those 10 questions and ask them, what would you like to see in this community? I said, because I don't want to make an assumption of what I think we need.
I love that.
There's this thing called Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? And at this present time, we in government are still on that bottom 4, where it's housing and food, education and community safety. We're still on that bottom rung and every single candidate that runs for office promises you those things, right? They don't promise you peace of mind because that's way up at the top. You don't have peace of mind when you don't make good wages. And so every candidate promises you those things. It's up to me to convince you that I am the right person to get you there, right? I've listened to you enough to have an idea that this person might want to focus on, but this person might want to focus on small business. And so we got to marry those things in the community to make them work for all of us. And so I speak to people on that level of, I am one of you. I'm not the word politician. I keep correcting myself. I did an interview and the lady said, "You are a politician." I'm like, okay,
Oh no. What Coach Q's articulating is, for our listeners, is what's called a listening session.
Yes.
And we don't see enough of those. I mean, and especially at the state and local level, that's really where the rubber meets the road when it comes to governance. Everybody gets on Congress and things like that, but where you really see the effects of governance is in your communities. All politics is local. And
absolutely.
Listening sessions are important. We need to see more of them. We need to see more of them at the federal level so people can, if this administration would listen, they'd know what they're doing in Minneapolis with ICE and everything else is not popular with the American people. But
no,
I digress.
And then they're here in Georgia. They're here in Georgia now. For what reason, right?
Absolutely.
We don't have terrorism in our streets right now. People are going about their daily lives trying to be, in my opinion, be good citizens, earn a living, have their privacy, raise their kids, go to their church, be functioning in their communities. And you're inciting people by putting these paramilitary guys who, wherever they trained.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but
I
from
love
everything
that.
I'm seeing, it looks like
let me censor that.
The communities are being terrorized by ICE right now.
Yes.
I mean, we've seen it
by
happen
those guys who
Minneapolis.
shoot first and ask questions later, right?
We've seen 2 murders in Minneapolis.
I told my wife, I told my wife this thing, Georgia's an open carry state. I purposefully moved to a place like Fayette County because I grew up in Southwest Atlanta. I lived in Southwest Atlanta the first 4 months that I was back in Georgia, and I'm laying in the house that I grew up in, and I can hear gunshots almost every night. And I said to my mom, I said, how did our community change to this? But open carry state, I don't want to drive around with my weapon all the time. I'm trained with my weapon. I'm trained to be deadly with a weapon. And so I feel like if my life depends on, if it's my life or his life, he gonna catch a couple, and everybody around here, because, and so that's a whole different scenario that I don't want. But now I got to be prepared for it, because I'm getting text messages from people that are in Peachtree City. ICE is in their neighborhood. They're downtown Fayette, right? They're in College
crazy,
Park,
Coach.
and I'm like, all right.
You got
so
the two-way crowd
do?
saying, "Oh, well, he shouldn't have brought a weapon to a protest." Wait a minute.
After praising Kyle Rittenhouse.
After Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yes.
I mean, so upside down world. I don't know what to call it. Up is down now, left is right.
But
never did I think.
Do our elected officials right now have a plan for that?
No,
they don't. I mean, I never thought I'd hear the "Don't tread on me" crowd saying, "Don't tread on me unless you're,"
Right.
Yeah. So again, they're okay with Americans being killed in the streets. They're okay with disarming people as long as it's not them. But it's been the same with everything. Abortions. They're okay with keeping it from other people because they've always had access to it. It's just the hypocrisy that goes back and forth. And I'm not running for office, so I'm just speaking for myself here. But to me, I have been beyond frustrated because somebody with the resume of Kamala Harris should have wiped the floor with a felon, a business fraud, and a literal adjudicated rapist.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have even been close.
It shouldn't have been close.
Listen, I am no conspiracy theorist. I'm not, but
I am.
Facts are facts, right? Right now in the United States, there's investigation going on in Florida and in New York for some anomalies with the election, right? There's no way in the state of New York in a Democratic district that Kamala Harris got 0 votes in some polling places, right?
Correct.
There's no way in Florida that votes were counted in counties that don't even exist, and that something didn't happen, and then, our news channels have video proof that the numbers were one place at a particular point in time, and then they changed. She lost votes. You don't lose votes in an election, It's not a football.
It doesn't work like that.
Game. You don't lose. It doesn't work that way. And there, somehow a glitch happened. And the problem is exactly what happened with Merrick Garland being our attorney general. They slow roll things in the government, and then people time out, and then you get this guy's back in office, and nobody has the cojones, that's a good word, to challenge him.
We feel a certain way about how long it took to bring charges out of the DOJ.
Yeah, don't get me started, Coach.
Right? That's
right.
But we've had that conversation several weeks.
but you know what? Because I know Coach has to go here in a second, but I want to end it with this because you kind of brought it up. The FBI executed a search warrant at the Fulton County, Georgia election office today. The purpose and scope of the warrant were not immediately clear. Our investigation into this matter is ongoing, so there are no details that I can provide at the moment, said FBI Atlanta spokesperson Jenna. I'm not going to say her last name. What do you think of that? So, it's for the 2020 election, Trump saying that they're going to prove he won.
Right.
The same guy that asked for 11,780 votes from the Secretary of State.
I'm sorry, dude. I felt that. Right.
Listen, there was a ransom letter came from the Attorney General this weekend, right? There was a ransom letter, and it said, "This is what we're doing." And I give kudos to Brad Raffensperger for saying no, but here's what a rapist administration will do. I'm going to force you to give me what I want, and I'm going to do it until you submit, right? Listen, I'm not.
That's the best example.
But it is, right? It is what it is, and it is what
it's an abusive relationship.
This is that sour grapes BS that Trump is still on because he didn't get his 11,780
Dude,
votes.
You're in office now. You got your second term. Shut up.
What are we going to do? Not that they're going to find anything. This is just to appease an audience of one, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
No, they really want.
They're not going to find those 11,000.
Grab those voter rolls, right?
But Trump's going to be able to say, "See, I should have been president instead of Biden."
Right, right. So they're going to try to forcibly take the voter rolls. They are trying to intimidate voters into voting, and then know how you voted, so that they can. Those guys, those guys to your house to tell you to do this. Jim Crow 2.0. Listen, I really feel this way. I hope that people listening to this podcast right now are upstanding citizens. I hope that in your heart of hearts, you understand that the United States is under a threat, serious threat right now. And if we are sitting on the sidelines doing nothing, and nothing means that you go to football, you watch all these things, and you tune out. You're not reading any news. You're not volunteering in any organizations. If you're doing that, do something as little as going to mentor kids in the schools, as little as going to volunteer at a food bank, as little as having a conversation with somebody, asking them how they're doing and listening to them, because how you doing and walking by in the grocery store is crap. We live in too small of communities, and we see each other too often to not be connected. I'm trying to organize right now in my own community, because I drive up and down this highway on a daily basis, and there's trash on the side of the roads. And I've never seen, in the 5 years that I've been here, a single trash cleanup on my street. We got freaking furniture on the side of the road, right? That hasn't been picked up in months. So right now, I don't say community organizer, activator, I am trying to coordinate a group of people in our community who are strong-willed enough to say, I will help, right? I will help do my part to make this community better. And so as a candidate, that is my wish. That is my goal, is to help influence our community to do better, and I don't think there's not anyone that I'm running against who has expressed that level of why they're running for office, and express that level. They talk about, well, I've done this, and this. Well, what have you done for me lately? Right? What have you done for me lately? What are you doing in the community right now, except trying to build a resume with a title of an elected official that you don't have the compassion for the community to do something better, right? And so I can't wait till we get to these candidate forums, because not a single person that I'm running against are all my neighbors, and I commend them all for being willing to step up to do something. But I really believe at this particular point in time, I'm the guy, all right? I'm that guy that's going to help bring our community back together and strengthen the community in a way that we don't look at political parties as much as we we've been convinced we have to. This is not a competition. This is a way to live together in a community. And so, dude, I'm so ready for this. So ready for it.
Marcus, I
Georgia House District, Georgia State House District 68.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fayette
yes,
County,
sir.
my old hometown, my old stomping grounds.
Yeah, man, I couldn't have teed up the ending any better than that.
Who's qualified and who's ready to hit the ground running. I mean,
yes, sir. Yeah. Hey, listen, I could use some donations
for old grumpy vets like us, but
but you some donations. I need people to jump on my website. There's a donation link there because, man, you got to raise so much dang money to get elected. I can't wait for politics and
campaigns cost money.
So
they do
tons of money. But a friendly reminder that Democratic campaigns fund union print shops. So almost every Democratic campaign is paying for union printing, supporting union print shops all across the country. So that's a very important distinction when you're buying your merch.
Let me take that a little bit further, please. Ryan, because a lot of people often wonder what that means. You support union workshops. What you're actually supporting are American workers who are getting paid a living wage. That's what that means.
Hey,
that's what that union
just stole my talking point. Listen to you. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step on your talking point.
No, bro.
Too many politicians on this show.
Dude, if you go on my website, it says I am fighting for a living wage. And what does a living wage look like, right? Yeah. Hey, I want to leave you guys with another little tidbit right here.
Yeah.
So we talk about big government, small government, right? My thing is a relative government, relative to what our country is. And so people will go, what does that mean? Well, places like California that have a bigger population should have more senators, right? Places like Idaho that has less should have less, right? So a relative government means the size of the government and the dictates what the population is. That's true voting, right? We don't need an electoral college if we have true representation and we have people who are actually fighting for the things that are going to be good for the nation as a whole.
The electoral college has way too many loopholes.
I'd like to see a constitutional convention that says, hey, let's get rid of the electoral college, even though we wouldn't need a constitutional convention to get rid of the electoral college. It could just be done. But
that would solve half our problems.
Like Coach Q's talking about, a representative government where you've got fair representation all the way across the board. States where you have, I don't know, 10 million, 19 million people versus states where you have 1 million, 2 million people.
Yeah.
But you still
Trees
get
don't vote, folks. Trees don't vote.
That's it. Trees don't vote. Land doesn't vote.
Bro, listen, I really appreciate you guys having me on, man. This is a highlight of this campaign. It's a highlight of my week this week, man, because I'm having a good one, but I'm having a concerning week because I feel like right now just running out and grabbing a blanket and putting it around my need this kind of healing, and so I don't appreciate ICE being here, man. So I'm gonna have to watch my P's and Q's, watch my six, right? So
I think
we got to face some hard truths in this country, and that's really what it is. I mean, don't be silent, people. I mean, when I say get out and fight for what you believe in, I'm not talking about fighting literally. I'm talking about metaphorically fighting for what's just, for what's right. Yeah. Make your voices heard.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Brothers,
I appreciate y'all, man.
Appreciate you too, sir. So real quick, just for the people listening too, you can find Quentin Pullen at Q4. It's the letter 4, thepeople.com. So Q4thepeople.com. Go check him out. You can read up about him, see what his campaign is doing, but most importantly, donate a few dollars because without money, we can't win these campaigns. That's why we bring these folks on so that you can hear from them, hear what their platforms are, what they're focused on, how they run their campaigns. And this is exactly why we do this show, because at the end of the day, these folks aren't going to magically end up in office without us amplifying them. So please go give Quentin a follow on his social media, send him a few bucks. And sir, thank you so much for coming on. And hopefully we can get you elected and bring you back.
Coach Q.
Well, I've never heard my name, Quentin.
Coming on, brother.
No worries. But listen, I've never heard my name, Quentin. Other calls me. I go, quit calling me by my government name.
Man, if I had
Well, I kept saying
a Q
coach.
in my name, I would absolutely, yeah, man.
Quentin Tarantino,
Yep.
same spelling. Yeah. I wish I had his dollars.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, man. No, I'd be doing it.
Right,
Sir, thank you. Good luck. But most
Thank you
importantly,
guys, man. I
definitely stay
appreciate you.
safe out there. Head on a swivel.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Godspeed, brother.
Absolutely.
Thank
You
you.
guys take care, man. All right.
You too. All right, man. So that was Quentin
stuff.
Pullen. I like him.
Oh, yeah.
I like him.
He's a great guy. And look, people, again, state and local government is where the rubber meets the road. I feel like as Democrats, and I'm a Democrat. I'm not speaking for Ryan here. I'm a
Democrat, apparently.
Yeah.
Still registered Democrat. Found that out. Yep.
Good stuff. But I think we've been outmaneuvered for the last 20 years or so by the Republican Party.
94, 95.
Taken over and gotten super majorities in a lot of these states. And, we just didn't have a good enough ground game.
Yep.
Don't compete in some places. Why? I've always been for a 50 states strategy with Democrats.
Drives me nuts.
Trust me, I understand all the insider baseball. I understand we don't have that much money to spread around all across the 50 states, but you got to compete. I've always said democracy demands competition.
Two of the most extreme Congress people from
That's
Arizona. I was like, nobody's going to run against them?
Yeah, exactly. So I do everything I can to support these state and local candidates, with our Fields of Change PAC,
because we're not just a podcast, guys. Like I said, when Marcus called me up for this, I wanted him to run, which seems to be a recurring theme with your conversations.
I hear it a lot.
Yeah. But of course we pivoted to, wanting to build a podcast platform around what he's already doing. So, it's great that we do this show, but there's a lot of other work being done behind this show. There's a reason we're bringing these people on. There's a reason that Marcus is supporting the campaigns that he is. It's not, we're not just flipping a coin here and figuring out, what we're doing. We are helping build the ground game that the Democratic Party needs. And the best thing that we can do is help usher in these elected officials that are going to, like Quentin said, not just run for office because they want the power, but they're also going to reach back and make sure that whoever's coming up behind them, because they know when we're in our 40s, 50s, we may not be in there that long. So we need somebody back there in their 20s, 30s that's ready to step up when the time comes.
Grab the torch.
I love that he said that. I love it.
Grab the baton and run with it. That's what I want to see. At our Hold the Line PAC, we talk about bringing in the next generation of Democratic leadership.
Yep.
How many times have you heard in the past from leaders who sit in office for 20, 30, 40 years say, oh, yeah, we're building that bridge for, the next generation to come in, and then they never leave.
Yeah. And they're running for re-election at 82. So
those things.
We had Quentin on for quite a while, so I want to get to what most people probably want you and I to talk about right now, which is the ICE deployments, particularly in Minneapolis. I believe since we were last on the show, they killed another American.
And that happened the same day we were on the show.
Did that happen the same day?
That morning, didn't it?
Oh, geez. See,
a lot of things happen while we're on this show.
Yeah, it really. Yeah, that's really weird. But we don't need to show the video. I think everybody has seen it. O'Pretty was over the weekend.
Over the weekend, okay.
So, I'm not interested in showing the video, but I think it's very evident that what the government is trying to sell the American public versus what the American public witnessed with their own eyes from different perspectives, different camera angles.
Are you going to believe Kristi Noem and Donald Trump or your lying eyes?
Yep. Greg Bovino coming out and literally saying that words have consequences, that we can't call police officers Gestapo.
He brought in the John love John Stewart. He brought in the hard SH, the Gestapo.
The Gestapo.
He's dressing the part, isn't he?
He sure was. Well, he's out now. So apparently, I don't know if that was the final straw when he basically came out and said, F your First Amendment rights.
Right.
And then Donald Trump came out the next morning and said, yeah, probably shouldn't bring guns. Like, no, guns aren't okay.
Yeah.
What?
Again, and that's why I was getting on the rant about the "Don't Tread on Me" crowd.
Dude.
Silence, the 2A crowd.
They're just a bunch of
Crickets,
cucks, man.
I mean, come on.
Like, seriously, you guys all act like you're the alpha males. Like, you guys are jokes. You know,
Alex Preddy was everything those guys
weren't.
say they like in an American.
Yes. He worked for the
veteran.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if he was a veteran. He worked at
he worked for the VA. Yeah.
ICU nurse at the VA.
Yep. Yeah, he took care of people like you and me.
Concealed carry. So he's a 2A guy.
Didn't pull it out.
Didn't pull it out. Didn't brandish it. Didn't even go for it.
Yep. Legal gun.
Legally. And they murdered him. They took his gun off of him after pepper
3 seconds before they shot him.
Shoved him to the ground. Shot him in the back.
In the head.
Well, yeah, in the head.
I mean, they shot him 7+ times. So, I mean,
like 7 or 8 or 10 times.
Yeah.
That's at least how many shots they fired.
Yeah, I think it was like 10 shots fired, hit him 7, something like that. The autopsy is going to suck. That's going to be very, it's going to be tough to read.
Yeah.
But, it's
the interview that Anderson Cooper did with I guess they called her the lady in the pink jacket now, who filmed.
One of the she said that she hasn't been contacted by anybody.
Yeah.
That's
but are we
insane.
Going to let DHS and do the investigation here, or should state or some other organization do that?
Well, we clearly can't count on the federal government, right? I think that much is evident at this point.
Not this federal government.
Correct. Yeah. Our current, administration government. Yeah. Thanks for the correction. But I do believe that there are states that we can depend on. I see Minneapolis trying to push back, and, I see a lot of criticism, against Tim Walz of being like, well, why didn't he, send the guard in earlier? And it's like, that's kind of a fair criticism. But on the flip side, you've got to play the devil's advocate, which is, does he want to be the reason things escalate?
Yeah.
And by calling in the guard, you're giving Trump what he wants. And you're helping create a situation that is, going to implode and create a much bigger public problem. So, I understand that Tim Walz was playing that, is this the right time? Should we do it? Like, I understand that. And I understand.
I'm going to state this as my opinion here.
Yep. Mine. Yeah. Same.
I don't have a whole lot to base it off of other than I know what I'm seeing. But I feel like this whole immigration thing is a predicate. We're using it as a predicate.
Mm-hmm.
Go in, be lawless, hurt people, kidnap people, so that they'll push back. And, for the most part, everybody in Minneapolis right now, and people all over Minnesota who are joining in on the protests, are doing everything that they're supposed to be doing.
Yes.
Peacefully protesting.
Yep. Organizing.
I don't want to use the word tyrannical government right now, but a lawless government for sure. But this is all the predicate for Trump to issue the insurrection.
All right, I'm gonna take one.
That's what I think this is all about.
I'm gonna take one out of Coach Q's book. Let's ask a question. Let's just ask people a question. Put it in the comments. We'd love to hear it. What do you call a government that sends law enforcement and the military into states and cities against the state and city's governing body's wishes, and you start shooting and murdering American citizens in the street, telling them that they probably shouldn't be carrying guns out in public, and saying that words have consequences? What do you call that government exactly?
Well, there's at least
if that's not tyrannical.
Tyrannical's one, authoritarian's one, fascist is another.
We're checking a lot of freaking boxes right now, bro.
to me, I don't want to speak for anybody else, but
no, but I mean, again, those are all factual things that are happening. Like, that's not, the things I just said are not
None of that's
not
made up.
Yeah, that's not political either. That's straight as an arrow. This is what's happening. Like, we're all witnessing it. So what do you call those things?
Yeah.
And here's what I'll cap it off with. Here's the exclamation point. What if Obama had done it?
Oh man.
Any of this.
Or Biden.
Or any Democrat.
Or any Democratic president.
Matter of fact, I'll go as far as to say anybody else. Because I don't even think any of the Bushes could have gotten away with this. Like, this amount of...
Yeah, I don't think HW or W would have gotten away with any of it.
They didn't have the clout. They didn't have it.
I don't think they had.
And back then, the government was a little more...
just that lawless. I mean,
yeah.
Did Bush get away with some things? Yeah.
For sure.
We did.
Yeah.
You know.
But again, looking back, how bad? Yeah, were they that bad now? That's bad as it is to say that, but
we would. I think we would gladly take.
Oh, in a heartbeat, brother. Heartbeat
over Trump.
And saying that, knowing that he got us into a 20-year war.
That's saying a lot.
And I wish I'd have him back. Oh shit.
That is saying
think
a
about
lot,
that, folks.
People.
Oh, the guy that lied about weapons of mass destruction. Yeah, we want him back. That's how bad things have gotten. But hey, Trump has started a board of peace.
Oh boy. Why
he's killing Americans in the streets. So I think the chances of that being successful are...
Who's on that board of peace again?
Oh, geez. Egyptian president, Argentinian president, Putin. Yeah, and they also revealed their plans for the new Gaza. Called that one, didn't I? I told y'all it was a land grab, and you all wanted to come at me and tell me that I was, all the words. I was anti-Israel and blah blah blah. I love you, Keith. Yes, sir. I am at this point. Yeah,
I would take a W over Trump any day. I'm sorry,
for sure.
Yeah.
It really is insane to see. And by the way, peace shouldn't have $1 billion buy-in.
Price tag. Yeah.
These people had to pay money to join this. Like, it's a grift. It's a pyramid scheme. It's a pyramid scheme, but with countries.
Exactly. No, not the countries, just those leaders who
tend to be friendly to him.
To Trump. Yeah.
Yeah, not to us.
He's not. He doesn't have a lot of friends in Europe.
They're all in low places. They just happen to have high office.
He's definitely got friends in low places.
So, speaking of low places, we're looking at a possible government shutdown. And I know that there's a lot of discussion around the DHS funding. That's part of this. Here's my question to you. Would it be possible for them to remove the DH funding part of this bill and make it a standalone issue so that Congress could pass, keep the government running, but have this DHS? So why isn't that being done?
However, Republicans won't, because they like to wrap those things up in other things to get people on the record, to say, oh, well, they voted against this. No, that's not what I was voting against. I was voting in this thing that you slid
the other
into.
8 things. Yeah.
You slid into this bill, into this package, into this funding that I don't agree with.
Yep.
So I feel like Democrats should definitely hold their ground again. And I know no one wants to see a government shutdown again, and how
nobody's happy about it. No,
how that hurts Americans, how it hurts contractors,
veterans. It hurts everybody.
But that's where we are right now. I could certainly say if I were a member of Congress right now, I'd be holding my ground.
Well, that's what I need. And I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I got to say, seeing 7 Democrat congressmen or congresspeople vote in favor of this DHS funding, even though it's wrapped up, in this package, I'm admitting that. But like you, I feel like this was one of those times where we need to at least show as a party that we stand united against American citizens being killed in the streets by the federal government, and also recognizing, I want people to realize what is happening.
And that's fair. That is fair.
Tim Walz has deployed the National Guard against a federal law enforcement agency.
Yeah.
Let me say that for y'all one more time. A governor of a state has activated the military against a federal law enforcement agency because they're killing Americans in the streets. What do you call that?
Authoritarianism. Fascism.
When you have, I mean, the government is basically going at itself.
Well,
you know, I mean,
a state is, we're the United States. Well,
depending on what the issue is,
every one of those states, we all talk
Trump
about
wants to control them now
and things like that. Every state's like its own little country. So
should be,
but
that's not where we're at, brother.
has certain powers, but it shouldn't be at loggerheads with the state.
Here's my thing. I feel like, and please tell me how you feel, but I feel like this whole thing, Trump, just from 2016 to now, 10 years, has exposed so many loopholes, so many issues within the foundation of our government. Yes.
The guardrails.
I feel like if we, like, two things, that we have a responsibility to close those loopholes. If we see them, we know what they are, and we know that they're causing a problem to the greater good, we have a responsibility to fix that.
We're going to say the same thing, but we're going to use different language.
Give it to me.
You say fixing loopholes. I say fixing guardrails, or strengthening guardrails.
Love it.
Because, a lot of things that we do in the government are basically just norms because you want to, or not want to, you're supposed to about the Constitution. That's the law.
Yep.
So certain things aren't written down. That's why we have lawmakers in Congress and Senate to go and make laws. We can strengthen those guardrails, or as you put it, close those loopholes, because they're not really loopholes, because the bullshit that this Trump administration is doing, it's lawless.
Yeah, it's straight law. Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
They have an activist Supreme Court who's going to say, that's unprecedented, but we'll allow it.
Which, a lot of us said
we got to strengthen those guardrails, because this administration tramples right over norms,
as well as the Supreme Court.
We heard so much about stare decisis during the Kavanaugh hearings and Amy Coney Barrett hearings, and what do they do?
Settled case law. I can't recall. We heard settled case law as much as we hear unprecedented. It's settled case law.
Stare decisis. Settled case law.
Yeah, no, it's good. No, we're not going to overturn that.
Just kidding.
8 months.
Once they've been, once they've made it through their Senate confirmation, and
it's just
got on
insane.
The court.
So I think it's important to remember that we have tools within our government to...
The mechanisms are there.
To remove somebody like Trump and to fix a lawless government that we are facing right now. So we do have those mechanisms. The problem with some of those mechanisms is it requires a certain amount of elected officials to, how do I put this?
Have spine.
Grow a fucking spine.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, as we can see, that's probably not going to happen. So then we have to revert back to things like the 25th Amendment. So what do you think about bringing that conversation into what's happening right now?
I think we're already having the conversation, to be honest with you. I mean,
are we, or should we?
I think it's been brought up. I think
by us, but by
weekend,
did somebody did elected officials bring it up?
I thought I read something that Hakeem Jeffries was saying.
Oh, if he did, I missed it.
That there may be an impeachment if we take the House back, and
but again, the House may do the impeachment, but they got to get
Senate. Got to get convicted in the Senate, or
it's useless.
Even if Democrats were to win the Senate, which I don't. personally, I don't think the math's there. I think it's possible, but I don't think the math is there. I don't think
not unless it's a massive shift that we're not
it
seeing.
had to be a huge blue wave in order for us to win the Senate as well.
Possible, but probability I think is a little low.
And I'm hoping we'll have a Senate candidate here soon to come in and talk with us about it. But we still wouldn't have the numbers, even if we.
But we need to make a step in the right direction.
Yes,
we need to pick up at least a couple seats, or
maybe one.
At least one.
At least one Senate seat.
Seriously, like we have to take a step in the right direction. If we lose seats, with what's going on right now, we can't lose. Like we'll
gotta win the House in order to kind of bring this train wreck to a slow moving halt. But
when we say, how do we vote our ways out of this? That to me, what Marcus just said is one of the only scenarios left. Like we have to vote enough people into Congress that are going to do the right thing when it comes.
That's the whole point.
Remember, guys, Democrats have already impeached this dude twice. And when it went to the Senate twice, the Senate wouldn't convict him. So, it's the Senate and Republicans. Yeah.
Feigned outrage.
If they'd have done their job, we wouldn't be having this problem. It may have been another Republican, nutcase, but it wouldn't have been Trump. And nobody has the power that Donald Trump has.
There were several off ramps for this train
100%.
Wreck, but we just didn't take him. We didn't convict him either time in the Senate. We didn't hold him to account for the documents, for the insurrection.
Nope.
Yes, it was an insurrection.
Burying his wife nope, never mind.
And any of the other 30.
I know.
I mean, I know it was 90 something before, but
it's crazy.
It got brought down to 34 counts.
Yeah. Like I said, a convicted felon, adjudicated rapist, an accused pedo who was refusing to release the Epstein files, which was a huge part of their campaign. Convicted felon. Like the fact that the fact that we could not beat him, knowing all of those things, the fact that 77+ million Americans still voted for that dude, knowing that resume is factually true, I will go to my grave wondering how
it stings a little bit.
Oh, dude, it hurts
because people were warned.
Oh,
we warned people. Black women
screaming, bullhorns, flags.
Voted overwhelmingly for her. Even black men voted
80+%
overwhelmingly,
men and female,
for her. Yep. But we didn't get it should have been the same coalition that came out for Biden, the same coalition that came out for Obama.
Yep.
Should have come out for Kamala. But let me get off the soapbox on that because I know.
No, dude, I think it's worth noting.
And I'm writing some things now. Not memoirs. I'm talking about.
We didn't set her up for success. The party didn't set her up for success. The Biden administration as a whole did not set her up to be the heir apparent. I don't think that's
the whole way that went down was.
Yeah, that's not a negative. That's like self-reflection. Like we're looking at it going, okay, where did we go wrong? Clearly Biden dropping out 100, days before, clearly that was bad. Looking back, that was the wrong decision. So, to me, how are we going to win elections if we can't look at ourselves and be like, how did we screw the pooch here? Because that's the only way we're going to move forward.
Didn't go in our favor. Let's put it that way.
And some things were out of
this train wreck with Trump.
Yeah, and some things were out of our control. Like those things are to be expected. But I felt, again, speaking for myself here, I felt like we sabotaged ourselves time and time again throughout that process. And unfortunately, I feel like we're still doing it. Like it feels like we're still sabotaging ourselves. Like, am I wrong? Like,
I'm not. I get that. It's valid. I'll say that it is valid. It feels like, for me personally, I like to be a little bit more scrappy when it comes to things like that. I mean, if you sat back and watched the Marjorie Taylor Greene campaign, we brought it every time, and they didn't like it. I'm more scrappy in that, but I believe in being strategic as well. I think we need to be more strategic, to borrow a word from Will Ferrell's strategery. We need it.
We need to, you know what we need to do though, brother?
We've got to get on the same page.
Yes.
Democrats.
We need to balance that strategy with appealing to voters' emotions.
Yeah. And
For
strongly
some
worded
reason,
letters and policy debates aren't going to get it, guys. That's not
Nope.
what it's going to be about. You know, take a page from Jasmine Crockett's book. Bring it. Eric Swalwell's book. Bring it. Bring it every time. If that's the game they want to play, it seems to be resonating with people.
Yes.
We should be doing the same thing. We can't be.
And if you think social media isn't, winning and losing elections, you're wrong. You're wrong. So go out there, share whoever's stuff, whether it's Quentin Pullen, whether it's Chris Fowler, whether it's Jasmine Crockett. I don't care. Just go out and share this stuff on your platform. Share the stuff you agree with so people know. Okay. And look, guys, I'm not going to sit here and criticize, because Marcus and I have both been in positions where, because of our security clearances or our jobs, that we could not be public about, at least not like we are now.
At all. For me, at all.
And me at all either. So like, I'm not going to hate on people that don't feel comfortable posting about it publicly, but there's still a lot of ways you can support these people behind closed doors. So that's what I'm asking. I'm not asking you to come out publicly and support them, but please go support these people behind closed doors so that they can win these elections, so they can pay a good staff and get the job done.
That's it.
All right. So Marcus, you got anything, brother?
As always, ladies and gentlemen, Ryan just wrapped it up put a pretty good little bow on it. Go out and do what you can. Support these candidates. If you're anywhere near any protests out there, go out and peacefully protest. Let your voice be heard. Stay safe.
Be safe. Look out for those around you.
Definitely safety first. Take care of each other, and do what you can to let your voice be heard. I think.
Yep. And make sure you go home though too.
Yeah, because we're right now we're getting into the election season. Primaries are about to start.
Yeah.
Some of them start as early as end of February. So
yep.
It's upon us right now, guys. So let's go out there and vote. If you're one of those states that has an early primary, like Texas is going to be coming up pretty soon. We got some special elections here in Georgia as well. We got Sean Harris on last week. That's March 10th.
Oh wow.
We could flip a seat that Marjorie Taylor Greene held. So do everything you can to help these candidates. Support PACs like ours, Hold the Line and Fields of Change, because we get out and do that work too. We do things that candidates can't do. And we give them that support to run effective races. So,
and when you find the right PAC too, they do research. So once you get to know a PAC and the people running it and what they do, that they've done the research if they're presenting a candidate to you. So go out and find those groups. Again, please come hold the line, but go. You don't have to come support his or ours either. Go find one yourself. Just understand how it works.
Do this work.
Yeah. But I want to leave people with this. And as we see Americans being attacked in the streets by our own government, let's call it what it is, I also witnessed an elected official who is a woman of color I'm going to call it attacked.
It was attacked.
Okay?
There's no other word for it.
She was attacked by a lunatic MAGA clown. Here it
must resign or face impeachment.
Now, I said she should have come back to the mic because her security tackled him. But she
came back to the mic, I believe. Yeah.
She totally did. But she went over there to put hands on him. I said she should have come back to the mic and been like, "You're lucky my security got you first, bitch." Yeah. But her being her, that's probably why I'm not elected official. But Rep Omar being who she is, pretty calmly and collectedly, honestly, came back to the mic, had to argue with her staff for a second, being like, "Y'all aren't dragging me out of here and letting this dude win." Yeah. And she literally went to the mic, like, "I'm going to finish my talking points now. Everybody calm down. I'm going to finish what the hell I was saying. And then we're going to go figure out what the hell this stinky stuff was that he sprayed on her."
Feel what you feel or whatever about Representative Omar.
That's not acceptable.
That's unacceptable that he attacked her, but that takes courage to keep coming back.
Yep. And then
most elected officials, I'm sure that was Capitol Police who tackled the guy. A lot of times they're going to want to drag him out of there, and successfully they would get him out of that situation. And their campaign team or the team that they have in the state wouldn't allow them to stay either. But kudos to her.
Yep.
For finishing town hall.
And of course, speaking of our glorious president, Keith, could you put his response to that attack up on the screen? President Trump, in response to Rep. Omar's attack, said, "I think she's a fraud. She probably had herself sprayed knowing her."
Yeah.
I think we should do
right before that, he said, "Oh, I don't know anything about it."
There you go. But I'd also like to point out that we suddenly stopped talking about the dude who took a shot at Donald Trump. Like, for some reason, they aren't putting any resources into figuring that whole thing out. Yeah. So they don't seem real concerned about that assassination attempt. It's almost like they knew everything already.
The facts didn't work in their favor. That's usually why things never resolve themselves in that situation.
It's funny how that adds up, isn't it?
Hey,
and ears, apparently, again, I think Evander Holyfield would probably beg to differ, but apparently Trump has his ear can grow back. Who knew?
Yeah. It only took a Band-Aid and a paper towel.
Remembering all those people that had, oh my God.
Had paper towels on their ears. Yeah.
God, you people are pathetic.
We digressed.
Okay. Yeah, we totally digress there. But listen, we've got Americans being killed in the street by federal agencies. We've got elected officials being attacked with unknown substances. This isn't a drill, America. So if you want to vote your way out of this, we've only got one shot at it, and it's midterms. So
let's not forget,
figure out who you're going. Yep. Figure out who you're going to be voting for. Support them financially if you can. Share their information publicly if you're able. But other than that, we'll leave you with much love. Keep fighting. Make sure you stay safe out there.
Godspeed, everybody.